For years, decades even, a very clear story was repeated again and again. A simple claim. More than 700,000 Palestinians left their homes willingly. According to this version, Arab leaders told civilians to step aside temporarily to evacuate, with the promise that once the war was won, they could return safely. And Israel? It said its army didn't expel people. It was simply fighting a war. But then, something changed. When parts of Israel's classified archives were finally opened and a new wave of historians began digging deeper, the narrative started to crack. What they found inside those files told a very different story. Military documents, intelligence briefings, government meeting records. Together, they pointed toward forced expulsions and even mass killings carried out during that time. And here's the twist. There was no solid evidence that Arab leaders ever gave a blanket order telling civilians to leave. So the original story? It didn't just weaken, it began to fall apart. But instead of disappearing, it evolved. A new argument took its place. Yes, expulsions happened. Yes, there were violent incidents. But these were described as isolated events, unplanned, unauthorized, just chaos in the middle of war. That explanation survived for years. Why? Because one key piece of the puzzle was missing. Was this all a breakdown of control, or was it part of a system working exactly as intended? That question remained unanswered until recently. In February 2026, after years of effort, the Aqavat Institute gained access to previously sealed archives. Inside them were transcripts from a long-hidden trial. The trial of Shmuel Layas, a military commander accused of killing dozens of civilians in a village called Hula. But Layas didn't deny what happened. Instead, he made a bold claim: I was following orders. To prove it, his lawyer called senior military officers to testify in court under oath. What they revealed was shocking. According to their testimony, there was a deliberate system in place. Official written orders were kept vague, carefully worded to avoid direct responsibility. But the real instructions? Those were delivered verbally, behind closed doors, directly to field commanders. One operations officer explained it clearly. We avoided putting certain actions in writing. Those instructions were passed on orally. And it didn't stop there. He confirmed that higher command knew exactly what was happening on the ground. Intelligence officers added another layer to the story. When troops were told, "Don't take prisoners," it effectively meant, kill anyone captured. Soldiers testified that instructions often included targeting men who stayed behind in villages, sometimes defined as anyone aged 15 and above. Another senior officer admitted openly, there were operations where civilians were treated as the enemy and eliminated. He went further, saying that mass displacement on such a scale could not happen without fear and violence. Then came one of the most disturbing descriptions. A brigade commander explained how terror was used in practice. Acts of violence carried out publicly, meant to send a message, meant to force entire communities to flee. According to him, hardly any village was emptied without some form of brutality. What happened to Laius after his conviction? Surprisingly, he never served prison time. In fact, he later went on to hold a senior leadership position. But that wasn't the end of the story, because another shocking discovery came from a completely unexpected place. In March 2024, in a quiet neighborhood in Tel Aviv, something unusual was found. Boxes thrown away near a dumpster. Inside them, thousands of documents, confidential files, maps, photos, military records that had never been made public. They belonged to a former soldier and commander from the 1948 war. And these documents revealed something critical. While many orders were kept verbal, some commanders actually wrote them down. One written order instructed soldiers to execute every 10th man in certain captured villages. Another directive was even more explicit, calling for the killing of entire groups in specific communities. Elsewhere, troops were ordered to eliminate anyone found hiding. In some cases, the instructions were brutally simple. Anyone encountered is to be killed. These weren't random acts. They showed patterns. They showed intent. And according to historians, the violence wasn't just about forcing people out. It was also meant to ensure they could never return. Even after ceasefire agreements in 1949, reports suggest that orders remained harsh. Soldiers were told to shoot individuals regardless of whether they were armed, surrendering, or even fleeing. In one case, when soldiers were tried for serious crimes, the court ruled that certain actions weren't punishable because they fell under standing military orders. Only part of the crime was considered illegal. Let that sink in. But perhaps the most disturbing revelation of all was what happened after these events. Because it wasn't just about what was done, it was also about what was hidden. special unit reportedly spent decades removing sensitive documents from public archives. The goal? To prevent information from surfacing that could damage the image of the military. Documents related to expulsions, violence, and controversial orders were systematically taken out of circulation. Even internal memos suggested a clear objective: control the narrative, limit what the public can see. And today? Out of nearly 17 million archived files, more than 16 million remain accessible. Think about that. We're only seeing a tiny fraction of the full picture. So the real question is, what else is still hidden? What stories remain buried in sealed files? And if the pieces we've uncovered already challenge everything we thought we knew, what happens when the rest finally comes to light? Music builds. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, make sure to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dives into hidden history. Because sometimes the truth isn't lost. It's just been kept out of sight.